Hello students, let's do the 3.07 lab today. In this lab, you'll add the finishing touches to your animation. The goals for the lesson are to add keyframes for the other lamps, add a negative light, and render the animation. Let's open Blender. And then go to File, Open Recent, and we're looking for version 6 that we saved last time. So in our last video, if you remember, they had us select the lamp main, and then they had us go over here and click on energy, and they had us duplicating keyframes and sliding them over to the left, and it was very confusing because there are so many different keyframes and they wanted us to use the box select and to select a bunch of them, and it ended up selecting more keyframes than what we wanted. It was kind of a mess. And so when I started looking at the lessons this time, they had us doing the same thing, and I thought to myself, okay, isn't there an easier way to do this? Seriously, do we have to get in and use these levels when it's so complicated? I mean, I can understand having a level that you're playing around with, but when you have all these levels and keyframes, it just seems like there's a lot of room for error, to grab the wrong keyframe, etc. So here's what I'm suggesting. I'm suggesting that this time when we adjust the spotlight, they want us to do the exact same thing. They basically are wanting us to click on the spotlight, so click on that to select it, and this isn't the main lamp, this is the lamp spotlight. So get your lamp spotlight and click that drop down menu under lamp spotlight right here, okay, and then click on your energy. All right, did you even see which one that was? There's the color, there's the green, there's the red. Clicking on my energy again. So I can see it. It's this blue line right here, okay? So basically what they want us to do is they want us to have it start at 0 and go up to full power at about 50 and then go over to about 200 and drop back down to 0. So I'm thinking, why don't we just add the keyframes manually instead? So let's go. We're on, just make sure you have energy selected. You're on lamp spotlight. Lamp spotlight over here is what's really important, is that it's selected. And let's just start with, let's do keyframe 50. And let's make sure that there's a keyframe there. We're going to right click on this energy. We want to keep the energy at 1 at 50. So insert the keyframe at 50, right? Now we can go back to frame 1 and make the energy 0, because that's going to dim it, right? And then right click to add the keyframe. And look at our curve. Didn't have to go in there and zoom around, took that down to 0. So the next thing we're going to do is at 200, we're going to add a keyframe. And then at 250, we're going to change the energy to 0 and right click to add a keyframe. And there you can see our curve. Okay, so we don't have to go in and do all of that nonsense of zooming all the way in and trying to right click on the right one and click down X to make sure we have the right one selected and sliding it over, and you don't have to do all that nonsense, okay? If you do a little bit of proper planning. See, I didn't even grab the right keyframe. I'm in the red color. And I wasn't even in the red color of the lamp spotlight. So there's just so much room for error there. Let's just add them manually. It's so much quicker. The negative light. A lamp set to give out negative light will darken other lights in a scene. The higher the energy of a negative lamp, the more darkness it will create. Adding a negative light lamp can be an easy way to turn all your lights off at once. You'll add and animate a negative light lamp soon. But first, a quiz. Which of these things can a negative light lamp do? A. Change the length of the animation. B. Darken the other lights in a scene. C. Change the RGB curves of the other lights in a scene. Or D. Add energy keyframes to the main lamp. I hope you guessed B, because that's the answer. Darken the other lights in a scene.
In the transform properties panel.
Whoops. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and add that lamp. So you're going to do that either by clicking add right here, lamp, and you're going to click point. Or you can click this little plus sign and go over to create, and you can make a point right there. Okay, so I've already got mine, and I am going to name it now, which means I'm going to have to take all this stuff and slide it over so that I have room to open up my properties panel and name that light under item. Let's see, what are we naming it? Lamp negative. I like lamp dark because that tells me it's going to make everything dark, right? But it's lamp negative. Okay, so because my pointer was up here at the top, mine is actually already at the top of the picture, but you just want to make sure that you have it moved above. Do you know you can right click on it, oops, and hit the G button, and then you can move it wherever you need to. So I believe in the video they have it just kind of up here. I'm not sure what just happened to my lamp. I'm gonna hit Control Z. There it is. I'm gonna hit G and just place it over here, anywhere above the scene. And then down here in your data box, you're going to click on this negative box, and then at keyframe 20, or at frame 20, they want us to add a keyframe of energy 0. So type in energy 0 and right click, insert a keyframe at 20. And then they want us to do the same thing at 220. So get frame 220, make sure it says 0 here, mine does, and right click, insert the keyframe there. So at this point, you can add as many keyframes to your lighting as you want. You can play around with your curves and make keyframes anywhere your heart desires. That is something that you can do. You just knock yourself out, have fun with it. If you're done, no problem. You can be done, because I sure feel done. Let's go ahead, if you're finished, and name it, file, save as. This is going to be version 7, and hit enter twice. And now we're going to render it. So to render it, we want to come down to this little properties area and click on the little camera, the render button. And do you remember what we have to do? We need to set it to 25%. Okay, it's already going to take forever to render. So make sure it's only at 25%. If you want to go a little bit less than 25%, you're welcome to. I guarantee you're probably going to have to step away from this to let it do its thing. So you also have to come over here and make sure that you're putting it in the right folder. So I've got mine in the Unit 3 lighting folder in my 3D Art to Animation folder, and I'm going to name it. So name it first, last name, Unit 3 final render. Okay, first and last name, Unit 3 final render, and then you can hit enter twice. So that's how the render is going to be saved. And then you also want to make sure that it says down here that it's an AVI raw file. And then once you have that set up, 25%. I don't want 100%. It'll take me forever to upload it onto my computer. In fact, I'm afraid to even do 25%, but hopefully it'll work out. You are going to click animation to render the animation. And let's see if it renders quickly. As you can see right now, it is rendering frame 1. And there are 250 frames to render, so it's going to take a long time for this to render. So I am going to just step away from my computer now, and I'll be back. Okay, so it's been like an hour and a half, and it says it's on frame 250 right now. I'm almost done. Okay, so I just came back. It appears to be rendered. If there was any message that popped up, I missed it because I didn't stick around. But what I did is I went into my 3D art folder under the Unit 3 lighting folder that I created, and I found my AVI folder here that I titled Rachel Girot Unit 3 Final Render, and I just double clicked on it to play it. And let me grab that. So there it is. Okay, and you can click repeat and just have it play again and again and again for you. All right, so let me go ahead and show you what you're going to turn into me. I'm kind of afraid. Let's see. I'm just going to go ahead and close that out. So this is actually 21 kilobytes. Man, if I could do this video over again, I'd probably have you guys render it at like 10%. Oh well, maybe for next time that's what we'll do. So you probably are going to have to zip this file in order to get it to me. So to zip a file, you're just going to right click on it, I believe, and you should be able to click send to compressed zipped folder. Okay, because that way you're going to be able to get it to load to the Dropbox. And I know I'm always like, don't ever zip anything. But that made it half the size. So go ahead and zip that up and find your Dropbox. So let's see here. Let's go into 3D art. 3D animation. And go into the content, and this was Unit 3 project, so click on that Dropbox right there. Oh goodness, let's just disregard all of this stuff that I forgot to, well, there's zip instructions. I'll leave those in there. You can zip your AVI file to make it upload faster. There we go. Okay, and there's going to be an upload button here. So you're going to upload those two folders. So you'll upload your zipped first last name Unit 3 final render zipped AVI, and you're also going to submit only your version 7. So I don't need versions 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Just send me version 7, please, okay? So your AVI file that you've zipped up by just going right click, send to compressed, okay? And your version 7 blend. All right, so once those have uploaded, then you have to click submit. So be patient and wait for them to finish uploading and click submit. And then once they're submitted, those files will be permanently attached to your Dropbox. All right, thanks so much, guys. Have a good one.